Hi, I'm Officer Kelly with the Pittsburgh Police Department, and this is a day in the life of a Pittsburgh police officer.
How do you start your workday?
Just getting mentally prepared. Just at the locker, making sure that your personal equipment is prepared. Just making sure that your duty weapon is loaded, and then you always check your taser, and then you end up going to briefing. Normally, whenever you come in, you kind of have a last 24-hour email of what's happened within the city, and you sit in here and brief with your supervisor, and the supervisor goes up over the certain things that he wants you to accomplish for the day for the next 10 hours. So another aspect of how we start our day is actually checking our equipment, our vehicle equipment, and making sure that it's all ready for the day. Another thing that you check on your equipment is you have your lights and sirens. You always want to make sure those work. Just your plain lights. You want to make sure your horn works. Make sure your radio works. 43 Pittsburgh, radio check.
You're 10-2.
10-4, thank you. Carry weapons inside, that we got to ensure that it's safe and that it's ready for the day. Always check your equipment back here. Make sure that you have all the equipment that's on your check sheet for the day. Evidence kit, spike strips, fire extinguisher. You just never know what you're going to run into, so you kind of have equipment for every aspect of the job.
What do you do when you're not on call or just in the office?
So when I'm not on call, I always run traffic to make sure that drivers are being safe on the road. And I also go downtown and I meet with local businesses and ask them if they have any concerns or needs within the community that we can help with. Whenever I'm not on a call, I always have to catch up on reports. We get a lot of reports that we gotta maintain and finalize before the week's over, so then they can go into the court system. Always try to make face in the community with the youth and hand out stickers and make their day in a way of looking at an officer.
What's the procedure when you get a call?
So the procedure is that it's going to vary. Every day is different. There's certain procedures that I can't really talk about, but every call that you have, the main thing in your mind is always going to be safety. Officer safety and public safety, of how you respond to the call, how you're going to interact with people, but that's the main thing that you want on your mind.
Why did you decide to become a police officer?
When I think back on it, I didn't pursue to become a police officer. It was simply a door that opened up to me in my time in life then, and I felt that being a police officer really suited who I wanted to become, and that was to become a great role model for my kids, and then also the youth within the community. I actually grew up here. I graduated college from here, and it's just a great community that I've always wanted to be involved in, and I felt being a police officer here in this community was great.
What's a part of your job that the public might not know about or doesn't really see?
Probably training.
Okay.
So we have 40 hours that are required every year that we have to meet. But the department does a really good job of encouraging us to pursue more training within certain aspects of the job. They've restructured it to where we can actually make higher ranking within our position to not just be Officer 1 to Officer 2. It's Officer 1, Officer 2, Officer 3, all the way up to Master Patrolman. And in gaining these different positions or different rankings within the system that we have, they encourage you to meet different categories of training with, like, be it tactical training all the way to investigative training. And they let you choose the path that you want to achieve within the department and make those extra trainings over the 40 hours that are required. So it's great within the department, and I really see a bright future with the department and how they were actually did this structure. It's just a great structure that actually hopefully will create the retention that we need and to motivate officers to actually pursue more within the department. Another aspect of the job that they don't see about is that we actually communicate a lot behind the scenes with Crawford County Mental Health when dealing with people that have mental issues. And then also we communicate a lot with DCF and TFI and the juvenile institutions that take maybe troubled youth or youth in need within the community. So that's some of the things that the public doesn't see, but there's a list that goes on and on.
What is your favorite part of the job?
So my favorite part about the job is that being a DARE instructor. I've been doing it for 2 years now, and I teach 5th grade students at Westside about drug abuse resistance education, and just teaching them about their choices and consequences, good or bad. It's just a heartwarming feeling to have these kids actually learn something valuable from you. And then to see them out in public, that when they look up to you and they're happy to see you and they want to come up and say hi to you, and it's a great feeling. I feel like I'm giving back to the youth in this community, and something I've always wanted to do. So it's really meeting a goal that I've always had.
Your favorite memory from the job?
So I have a couple. One was Easter during COVID. I think it was 2020, and responded to a code, which means that the person's unresponsive. I arrived and they didn't have a pulse and they were blue in the mouth. And they had 2 kids and they just got done going through their Easter baskets. So you go in and you go in and you assess the situation. And so I start chest compressions. First I checked his pulse and he didn't have a pulse. So you start chest compressions. Fire shows up with the EKG machine, and we were able to hook that up to him as I was doing chest compressions, and we were able to get him back and responsive. And it was probably one of the best feelings I've had in my life for the family, for the kids. So,
is there a part of your job you wish the public knew about?
So there's a few things. There's a lot that the public doesn't see that we actually go through. Believe it or not, that most of the time we're the first to respond to emergency medical calls and emergency fire calls. So most of the time we're the first ones to give CPR, the first ones to actually pull people out of the fires sometimes. So that's one aspect that they don't really see that a police officer does. Another one is the court system, going through the whole court system, talking to DAs and city attorneys and making sure that you have a good solid case that you could pursue on and testifying in front of a jury or even a judge.